Now I'm going to show you another example of an imagery type of information resource, namely Google Earth imagery, because this is commonly used in the EMINA project and the EMINA methodology. Well, it is now possible in the assessment summary of the various resources to use the Google Earth slider and indicate a date there. However, it is still the best thing to do is still to add an information resource so you can also indicate there, especially the creator is something that's otherwise not recorded. So if you are doing this, first you should very carefully check if that the record does not already exist, because the imagery often covers a large area and therefore it might well be that someone else has already added this, or even yourself at another time. The easiest way to do this, I'm in the search, and there is an extensive tutorial on how to search, there's a tutorial for basic search and for advanced, so I'm just going to show you quickly how to do this specific search. And the easiest way is to use the date search. So for example, if I have imagery dating to, just randomly putting this date here, no, not randomly, this is the date. So if it's dating that, I do a from and to date, and I see if there's anything at that date. And I can see actually in this case, there are only 3 resources, and these are all EMINA resources and not information resources, indicating that this date does not yet exist, and therefore the information resource has not been entered yet as such, and I am free to enter it. If I were to get a really long list, I could specify here the specific field I'm looking for, and this is a long list as well, so I'm going to narrow it down so I can find it. So what I'm looking for is the imagery acquisition date in information resource. I already know this is going to give me 0 results here, so I'm good to go for this imagery. Then in the resource manager, I click on information resource, and this will open a new information resource, an empty one. So I'm just going to navigate there, and I have to start here as before. So the resource type, now in the drop down, I'm going to imagery and then satellite imagery virtual globe /map. I will add that. The format, because I'm accessing this online, even if you have Google Earth Pro on your desktop, is still connected to the online access, so I'm going to add that one. And as before, you can see this has added those 2. And as before, I should go to the imagery card. I can click on it and go through the fields like this, or I can click on the plus here and open them one by one in the card tree, either one. So for Google Earth imagery, we don't have a catalog ID, so I can leave this empty. There is a source, which is very straightforward. This is Google Earth. So I'm choosing that one and clicking on add. The creator, so this is a field that you can now add here, whereas this is not visible in the assessment summary if you only use the slider there. And in this case, this is digital globe. Again, this is a field linked to a person organization record. So it exists, so I'm going to click that and I'm going to add that. The image details, so for Google Earth imagery, we've got very little information, but it's best practice to still indicate that. So to be complete, I'm going to indicate that I don't know these details. So for more information of what these fields mean, you can refer to the tutorial and the video on photographs and the PDF tutorial. But I'm going to add this. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you leave this empty, but in this case, it's clear that it's unknown rather than I have just not filled it in, perhaps. The same for the resolution, the post-processing resolution and the processing. I mean, I know the images have been processed, but I don't have the details, so I'm going to put unknown. Very important is the date of acquisition, because this is key to know when any changes happen that we have observed. So in this case, again, the best thing is to navigate using the calendar view. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add this. So this is an exact date, right? We don't normally approximate that in this case. Now the file date, in this case, I don't know. I don't have a specific file date. And then copyright, we always fill this in. And in this case, it has a copyright, which means I can, under no circumstances, upload a file. I don't have the file anyway because I'm accessing via Google Earth, via the program. But even if I would take a screenshot or save an image, I would not be really allowed to upload this here. I mean, there are instances you can use this in publications on using the right acknowledgements, but in this case, we cannot upload this to the database. The other fields, the URL is not relevant. The location, it covers a large area, so we're not putting that in either. And also additional information is not relevant. If I go to the related resources, that is something that's relevant because you will want to add this. The reason that you enter this information resource is that normally you want to add this to a heritage place, say, or another type of resource that you've used this imagery for. And therefore you can see it has already added digital globe because I added that under creator. And here you can search for your resources. So you should look up the Amina number and you can start typing it and add the relevant one. But this is discussed in more detail in the related resources video.